Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And first of all, apologies for my absence yesterday. As I was about to start recording, an almighty thunderstorm broke out. It was the loudest storm that I have ever experienced here where I live, and it frightened not only me but also poor Fluffy, and it went on for hours and hours. And so I had to have Fluffy, a very frightened Fluffy, on my lap for hours and hours and hours. She went quite cold at one stage from shock. She's fine now, but we had quite a harrowing time, and our lights went out. The local substation was struck as well. So that was where I was yesterday. But I'm back here at the tarot table today, and I have my Shadowland tarot on the tarot table. It's a very hairy tarot deck. For me as a tarot reader, I do like using this tarot for Harry. It's all that repressed stuff that he has now brought to the surface thanks to marrying Meghan, and we now see all that resentment and hostility and faultiness, general faultiness, in my opinion, that has now risen to the surface. One of the wonderful things of marrying someone like Meghan Markle, you find out your true nature somewhere along the line, and also her true nature. That is, of course, my opinion. But today's readings are really motivated by quite a strong emotion of mine personally, and that is disgust for some things that Harry has been doing recently, things that I personally think are incredibly ill-advised. That's my personal opinion. And the first of them is this virtual Christmas event he's having for Scotty's Little Soldiers. This is the charity in the UK for children who have lost parents due to service in the armed forces, the UK armed forces. The little charity is so money tight at the moment, that's the wrong word, they're so broke that they had to cancel their annual festival this year. Harry normally shows up for it, but didn't bother this year. Instead, sent cheap bags of sweets to the children who were at Remembrance Sunday. And no show of Harry, as I say. He did one of those phone-in video things for them, wearing their scarf, and then the cheap sweets, which looked like they'd fallen down the back of chairs at the cinema, and then put in cheap packets and given to the kids. If I'd been a parent, I would have been furious, or if I'd been a member of the charity, I would have been furious. He is their patron. It gets worse. And the way it gets worse is that Harry is now going to do a phone-in event with some of the children, as many as possible. He wants to jump onto this video call with him for Christmas on the 10th of December so that he can share with them what, and I'm quoting, what Christmas is like for a real life prince. These are bereaved children who got a cheap bag of sweets and now have to hop on to a Zoom call with Prince Harry to hear what it's like to be a real life prince. Exploited, in other words, in my opinion, because Harry needs some attention. Harry needs to be seen to be doing his charitable / humanitarian work, allegedly for visa reasons. That's the latest rumor. That's why he's out and about doing all these Zoom calls and popping up at football games and such, to prove that he's really busy being a humanitarian. So we're going to do short little reading. I've blabbed on enough, and today's readings have to be short. Busy. I'm particularly disgusted by this because in our community we have children who are less than privileged, and we have children who are challenged in various ways, physically and mentally, and we are doing a Christmas event for them early next week, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all of that will be very present, and it will be in person, not by video call. We will not be exploiting them, and it's a whole community that gets involved, because that is what communities do. So yeah, discussed here for me. And let's remind you that this is just tarot, and it's all for fun and entertainment, and it is all my opinion, and the discussed is just my opinion too, and of course all speculation, and we just read energy here, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. It's interesting, that was the devil that popped up there. How interesting. So we're going to ask why he can't show up in person. We're going to ask, who does he think he is, that he thinks these children could care less about what a prince does for Christmas, what the parents and the charity think of this, and has he lost his mind? Has he utterly and completely lost the plot? Because things really seem to be careening out of off track at this point with him. It seemed to be all right a few months ago when he was off to New York and all the rest of it, but it seems to have gone quite mad recently in the things that he's doing, like desperate, ill-advised, panicky, wondering what's going on. And so that's what we're looking at today. Let's see what the cards have to tell us. We got the Three of Cups in reverse. That's falling out, friends, partying. It's supposed to be a cheer them up for Christmas. I think they would rather have a nice Christmas party for themselves with nice food and some fun entertainment, and no has been on the phone to them on Zoom or whatever it is, and just enjoy themselves. And instead of which, it's going to be miserable, it's going to be grim, it's going to have to listen to how he lost his mummy and had to walk behind the coffin in front of the whole world. I'm being snarky. I think I'm entitled to be snarky. There is the Three of Cups in reverse for these poor kids who really don't deserve to be, in my opinion, exploited the way they are. So, a situation, what is going on? We've got another three in reverse. That's interesting. The Three of Pentacles this time. It's collaborating. It's about money. It's about the grift. It's about, in my opinion, again, allegedly flashing on the table here. It's about... Normally it's about teams and working with people, but here for me, energetically, it's telling me that it's about taking advantage of a group that you belong to for your own benefit. Instead of being a team player, it's all about you. It's all about Harry. It's not about the kids, it's about Harry. Three of Pentacles in reverse. That's pretty much what the Three of Pentacles means. So I think I am entitled to express that opinion. And let's see why he can't be bothered to show up for the actual event. He did show up for the other, I think it was the Well Child thing in the UK, but couldn't be bothered to show up for Scotty's. Why not? Why can't he be bothered to show up for them? Or the Devil. Did show itself before, now it showed itself proper. The Devil, and it's in reverse. Interestingly, we've got the SOS sign in the background with the Devil, with money, burning the house down. There, the Devil. Something that he's trying to avoid, he's trying to dodge. Because the Devil is when you're chained to something, toxic, dangerous, treacherous, obsessive, difficult, and it's in reverse. It's almost like he doesn't want to be in the UK for some reason right now with that Devil in reverse. It's also giving me a bit of a vibe of hiding from the actual Devil and the long arm of the claw, because he pops up at these things, very unexpected. Suddenly they say surprise appearance, boom, there's Harry. And more than not wanting to be in the UK, it's maybe a bit obvious if he's in the UK, and somebody in Montecito would know where he was then. Whereas if he just pops up on a Zoom call, somebody in Montecito doesn't know where he is. That Zoom call could be from anywhere. It could be from Cape Town or Vancouver or Lisbon or wherever. It need not be from Mudslide Mansion. So he's trying to distance himself from something very toxic. And the most toxic thing that I think is in Harry's life is what's in Montecito. So who does he think he is? That these kids want to hear from him what it's like to be a prince on Christmas Day. Who does he think he is? Oh, we've got the Ace of Cups in reverse. This is somebody who is feeling the pain of not being popular. Ace of Cups is all about the love, the big love, the biggest love of all. And he was the most popular royal, and he was the one who was supposedly so good with kids, although every indication from him is that he has no idea how to relate to children. Interesting for a supposed parent of 2 young children, that he really doesn't seem to have a clue, and has spent now something like 3 months away from Montecito, where allegedly he has 2 children. He wants to be popular again. He's feeling the cooling, the iciness from the general public with that Ace of Cups in reverse. And the only thing that he's got to offer people is, I'm a prince. It's a bit sad. In fact, let's call it what it is. It's pathetic. And let's straighten the camera a bit. Hope you don't get seasick. What do the people at Scotty's Little Soldier think of this latest stunt? Do they think it's wonderful? Maybe they do. No. Strength card in reverse. It's, interestingly, the Strength card normally is a Harry and Meghan card because it's Leo and it's on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, so it's the delightful duo. But the Strength card is also, it's a royal card. It's the lion, it's the monarchy, it's the strength of that institution and what it represents in its best self. And it's in reverse. It's a kind of thing. It's interesting to me because it looks like the late Queen. That's who I'm reminded of when I see her. And apologies to her. I mean no disrespect. She would never have shown up like that. But there is something about this because she had bone cancer. And she showed up even though she had bone cancer and she was in extreme pain, which was of those legs, tell me. And it's in reverse. It is such disrespect. The late Queen would have shown up, and she did show up at the Jubilee on the balcony when she was in tremendous pain and she really didn't want to, but she forced herself to do it. And she never showed herself weak. She was never seen in a wheelchair or anything like that. She managed to push herself through because that's strength, that's courage, that's mastery, that's command of the self. Harry is the absolute opposite. He's a coward, he's weak, he can't show up there in person. I would imagine that one of the reasons he can't show up there in person is because of this SOS here, this cry for money. Apart from trying to hide from herself, I think that he literally doesn't want to be there because they'd say, write us a check. Whereas if he's somewhere away, they can't grab him and say, commit, we're in desperate straits, we need money from you. So that's something else that is sitting in there in that card for me as an energy reader. And of course, just my very negative opinion today, a very negative opinion of Harry. They have a very negative opinion of him as well. The coward, weak, doesn't have control of his own sort of base nature, because that's the Strength card as well, isn't representing the royal family in the way he should be, is letting them down by the way he's behaving, is under the thumb of the Leo in Montecito, all of that stuff. Apologies to all Leos who very often get a bad rep in this on this channel just because she happens to be one, and no disrespect to the rest of you at all. And has he lost his mind? Final question for me. I sincerely want to know if the wheels have come right off recently through his behavior. He seems to be doing some very weird things, and I've got the 7 of Pentacles and it's in reverse. There's something here It's not the wheels coming off in the sense of he's gone mad. It's he's invested in the wrong thing. The last 7 years of his life, 7 of Pentacles, is 7 years of bad luck. He's paying the price now. It's harvest time for who he married, what he decided to prioritize, the bridges he blew up, the hate, the resentment, the begrudgement, the squandering of resources and opportunities. It's all coming home to roost now. It's called karma. And that is a card of karma, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, because now he's looking at it and thinking, what have I done? I was once the most popular royal. It's sitting under the devil that he's trying to extricate himself from at this point. A lot of people speculating that behind the scenes there's some paperwork going on, there might be some legal proceedings going on, there might be some negotiating or disputing going on behind the scenes. We don't know. We will have to wait and see. But that's not a happy man. Not a happy man, especially when every card in this reading shows up in reverse. Very seldom. I don't know what statistical possibilities are of that. But when the cards are in reverse like that, all of them in a reading, it means somebody is in their reverse aspect. And that's why I've got the Shadowland Tarot on the tarot table today. It was calling very loudly today. He is in his shadow self, and he needs to get a grip, and he needs to remember who he is, not the prince that the kids want to hear about, how he's spending Christmas all by himself under a bridge somewhere with a box of wine, but who he truly is in the core of himself, who he was raised to be by the late Queen and everyone else around him, not just her. Disgrace, in my opinion. And the cards tend, again, in my opinion, to back me up on this one. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.